All right, guys. So, Angie, I have you up on our projector.
Hi.
Okay, so it's still recording. Let me make you full
screen.
You guys are
in class right now.
We are. Make sure you can share your screen and everything.
I think
we are in our meeting space at the Stratford Senior Center.
Great.
So I have you up on the big screen so they can see your screen when you share it. And yeah, so everybody, if you guys want to, you can see them, right? You guys want to like get a little closer so that she can see you. Can you see them okay?
The thumbnail, because I have my presentation open also, is a little small, but I see them, and you guys are a little fuzzy, but I see you okay.
Okay, cool.
Can you see
I'm using my phone. Yeah, we can see you great. We have you up on the big screen up on the wall.
Oh, wow.
I'm projecting. Yes. All right. So Angie, I just explained to the girls that you are an artist and an illustrator. You work for Scholastic, and you're going to talk to us about some different roles that you have played in your life. Guys, I do have to tell you, this is my sister. This is my big sister.
Hi, TT Angie.
So this is Addie's TT Angie, and this is my big sister. And she and I have spent a lot of time making art together too. She taught me a lot about art, and she's teaching my girls about art. And I'm really excited for her to share her life with you guys now. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Angela Mason.
Angie Mason.
Angie Mason. I call her Angie.
How dare you?
Hi, guys. How are you? Are you guys all into art?
Yes.
Great. I have a little presentation that I'll try to go through as fast as I can, so then we can get to questions and conversation. But I wanted to give you a bit of background, so I'm going to hit my presentation tab, and I think it should work. And you can tell me if you see my presentation. Do you see it?
No.
Oh, wait. I think I got it. You see it?
Yes.
Yes, I see it too. It worked. So, as you know, let me just get this going. I'm Angie Mason. I'm an artist and a designer. I've been working in the creative industry for many years. I've been doing this my entire adult life, and started pretty much back when I was in my teens. In high school is when I got serious with it. But I wanted to show you guys a bit about my history, thinking about my life as a tree, and how I grow my creative tree. So I want to show you a little bit about that, to talk about the roots. I have roots starting, like I said, I mean, I've always been interested in art since I was a little kid, drawing on my mom's good furniture. She doesn't like that, but that's where it started. But then I went in high school, I got really serious, and I went to a summer arts program that the high school sort of told me about, and I applied. It was at Rutgers University, actually, and it was a 5-week intensive program where you stay full-time, just painting, drawing, writing, photography, just so many different facets of creativity down there, and also meeting and interacting with other artists and like-minded people who were on a similar creative path, but everybody was doing their own thing. So it was really exciting to see like theater people and people who were doing film, just so many different walks of life, and people that I'm still friends with to this day. And then from there, I went to art school. I studied at Parsons. I started out in the fine art department. And then I also switched into illustration, where I graduated from Parsons School of Design. And also I just have some other little side notes, personal things, loving nature and traveling. And I have spending time with my friends and going to music shows. Those are all my roots. So then when my tree is growing, it starts to branch out. And I have, obviously, my main center root was in art. So that's growing straight up. But then it branched out into design, where I started looking for jobs, and I started working at .coms when they first came around. Way back when they first came around, it was really exciting because no one knew what they were doing. And we were all learning together, and that was a magical time. So then from there,
Angie, wait, just 1 second. A .com, guys, is a website.
Yes, I'm so.
That's what websites were called way back then when they were starting.
Yeah,
like they were called .coms.
Yeah, I can.
I'm just making sure you guys know what that was.
At the end of every website it says .com.
Go ahead, Angie.
That's like my nickname for them. So then from the .com industry, I went into publishing, and I went into work at a travel magazine as like an art director and an in-house illustrator. I worked with other illustrators, sort of doing drawings and then saying, I want you to make a final artwork that looks like my drawing for this article that someone wrote. And then I would also do the layout design, all sorts of things. And then also I would get from my creative director, and the editor-in-chief would tell me things that they'd want me to draw and or paint for stories. And then I would actually work from home on those days and make the artwork and then bring them in, and they would scan them for the magazine and do all that stuff. So then from there, I moved into packaging, and I went into packaging design, and mostly for the toy industry. I did a lot of toy packaging. And then from there, I went into kids' books, where I am right now at Scholastic, where I am a senior designer at Scholastic during the day there, and working on all different books. You'll see in some of the further slides, I'll show you a little taste of what I do there. And my art branch, see, life, you know, with your tree, your creative tree is going to have a bunch of different branches, and you're going to explore things in life and just grow and have discovery of different things that you find interesting. And you just never know what's going to happen, how your branches are going to grow. And mine started out with showing in gallery shows. I started out in group shows, and then I did some solo shows. I did solo shows both nationally and internationally. Then I also did art fairs and art festivals. I also had my art published in books, and also other projects like a tarot card deck. I also created my whole online art brand, which is at angiemason.com, and you can see all the things there, from like my blog to podcasting. It's just all these different ways that you can use your voice creatively. It doesn't always have to be visually, it could be writing as well. So then also I put my branch in there of travel, world travel. With world travel, it kind of hooks up with my art branch, because I would do art shows and then travel to those countries when the art opening would happen. And it was really cool to have those coincide. Then just the idea of having discovery and exploration as being one of my branches that I just love, just always learning in life and never stop learning. And let's see. So then I want to go to my next slide. Oops.
She has lots of roles in her life, right?
What's that?
I just said that you have a lot of roles, different roles in your life.
Yeah, all my creative branches. I feel like everybody has their different trees grow differently, and everybody has their branches, how they're going to grow. Like, you know, people are writers, but they're also actors, you know, like it just, who knows how it's going to go, and just not to always just explore and try things, and don't be scared to try new things. So then basically the other thing I want to mention with your creative tree is to always stay flexible. the life shifts they're very windy, and you want to be flexible and flow with the winds of change. Life is just full of change, and the more resilient you can be with different changes and just, you know, shift and pivot, I think the happier you're going to be. So then let's see. So I just have, this is also a deck, a presentation deck that I've sort of tweaked for this presentation. So I'm going to just, you know, I don't know if you want me to share this with you guys so you can take time to look it over or not. It's up to you guys if you want. But basically, I'm just showing you, these are the basics of things that I do. My whole philosophy is basically make something every day. It can be a drawing, a doodle, anything. I keep sketchbooks. My sketchbooks, I write and draw on them. I think that they're really important tools for anyone to sort of plant your seeds to help grow your tree and figure out what you want, like projects that you want to make, and you'll start to see things unfold in these books. So if you just write down your daydreams, you write down your thoughts, tell your stories, you know, just put it all in the book. So then, oops, basically I talk about drawings, my sketchbooks, and like how they're my creative roots. And then designing, I do all the different designs in Photoshop, InDesign, Illustrator, and Procreate. These are programs on the computer that I use daily to make artwork for different projects for other people, for myself. And then, of course, there's paintings. I do all sorts of paintings, acrylic, watercolor, anything. I love painting. And then I will also do writing and podcasting. Is an interest of mine. It's, you know, let's see, it's just another exploration that I'm doing. Like, I didn't know anything about podcasting, how to make a podcast, but then I made one. It was really the discovery and that whole learning of making something from scratch. It was exciting. And that is the Clarity Cloud podcast, which all of it is on angiemason.com. You could see all of these things that I do over there and explore. You'll even see a coloring book.
She's a full-grown adult, and she's still finding new things to try out and learn about. And
never stop learning.
Yeah, that's what she means when never stop learning. She's still learning and starting new projects and stuff.
Yep. Yeah. And I wanted to show you guys, when I talk about keeping a sketchbook, you know, really, they don't have to be neat and precious, and you don't have to be like a fancy pants drawing, like, you know, realistic or anything. It's like, it's about getting your ideas and emotions out. So like, I know I'm pointing to my screen. You can't see here. You can see my little cursor, right? When I point to it, or no? Well, basically on this one, on this whole spread, I have a range of drawings. The one that had, like, you know, sort of this memory sketch of myself when I was a kid in my bedroom, drawing in my books and just talking about the memory of how sketchbooks were so important to me. Telling your stories, not thinking like, don't think any of these little, I don't know, passing memories that you have in your own life are not anything. Like, they're your stories. So find importance in that. Like, write down your memories. You know, when you think about, like, when you see your friends and you talk to your friends, and you want to tell them something that happened to you, like, that is something that you could write in your book. And, you know, you talk about, like, the idea of like a graphic novel, like, you can base something off of that, you know, just your daily stories that you're telling, and or even dreams that you remember. Like, write it all down in your book, and you could even like combine your dreams with your daily memories and experiences, and then maybe some whole new story will come up. So that's why I always say, get a sketchbook, a little journal. My favorite size is the 5x8 you know, sketchbook. It's just a blank book. You can get lines in it if you want lines. They even have ones with dots and graph paper, but they're really the best. So then I want to show you guys some of my design work. It's just a sampling of a bunch of stuff. I have so many things that it was like, I don't even know what to show. So I just grabbed a bunch of things. So when I talked about the .coms, if you look up in the corner where you see something that says Space Kids, that's really where it started for me. I worked at a couple different .coms before I landed at Space Kids, but it was space.com. It's still around. It's a site all about outer space, and it was so cool. I got to work with Sally Ride, the first woman astronaut. Hey, so cool. So then I am also showing you guys some different like magazine covers that I designed, but I also painted them. So it was like a whole mix, and also working with other artists' work and doing like designs to promote their work, from like doing promotional like tote bags, and then doing like the banners to promote Scholastic when we do these book fairs, and then also different packaging, like gift packaging that I did in the past, where I couldn't believe that for my job I got to paint cats in little dresses and fancy clothes, and I was getting paid to do that. That was, I knew I had made it when I was painting cats. But anyway, so yeah, I have like a whole like different promotional things, and doing from like the Con in the Box logo that you see down there that says graphic Con in the Box. That was a logo and a whole campaign that I worked on, as far as like doing like a poster and like the magazine cover, and working with the other designers to work on they'll work on like the interior layout, but I'll work on, you know, like these key elements like the logo, and then these pennant flags, and just all the different little components that we put together in this kit that we would send out to all of these teachers and book fairs and book sellers to have these sort of like
displays,
you know, like a Comic-Con, a Con in the Box. So then I want to show you guys some of my toy packaging too. Like I have a history or a background in toy package design, and this was a really fun industry to work in. There's a lot of interesting people. You'll meet a lot of other creative people who are inventing the toys, who are designing the products, engineers, all of these things behind the scenes of how toys get made. It's really cool. I even worked with a magician, and that was really fun. He would come and do tricks for us and show us some tricks. But so yeah, I worked on Scientific Explorer, was one of the main key package products that toy products that I worked on, and just a bunch of things. I mean, so many things. Doing from like the logo design to working with other artists, and once again, art directing artists on what I want for the packaging. So that's really a neat process to have that kind of collaboration with not just working for yourself making art, but then having ideas and then working with someone else to sort of make those ideas for you in their style. But you kind of direct them, like make them have, you know, a top hat, and, you know, their sleeves are rolled up. So it's just things like that. And then just a little bit of just a very condensed sampling of some paintings that I've been doing, and I do art shows, and I wanted to show some of the art shows that I did. Again, if you go to my site, you will see so much more. Because I have been, as you see, doing this a really long time. I didn't even fill out this whole milestone thing because I'm like, oh, I'm going to be here all night filling this out. So I just did like a basic, just to show, like, you know, there's a timeline, and it just shows like there's a lot of different things that I know this particular milestone for myself is very art centric. Like I was focused on more of my art path, like as far as that art branch. And there's not too much of the design stuff in here, just a couple things that I mentioned. But I wanted to just show, like, you know, there's always just different things that, you know, time will go on and then, oh, look at, there you got your first international solo show. Oh, look, now you're working as a toy packaging designer. Things change and things grow and you just try things, you know, you just never know where you're going to land, but just to be open to opportunities when they, you know, don't be closed off. So I also mentioned that I have a blog on my website, and I know talking about you guys are going to be making some graphic novels, so I just wanted to point out to tell your stories, and any little detail of your life is interesting. You can really, it's you, it's your story, something that happened to you. You could just turn it into a graphic novel. And this is just more about my blog. I talk about everything on my blog. I mean, I have a recipe for like salt dough ornaments on there. And I talk about my garden and all that stuff. So there's just a lot. So these are some things that I always think of. And I say to myself, allow yourself to be lost in order to be found. And that kind of goes along the idea of just, you know, letting yourself discover things and learn things and just trying and seeing and absorbing things. And eventually you're going to come upon some idea and you're, oh, here I am. I found it, you know? So, you know, words are really important. And if you guys, I don't know if you guys have any sort of mantra or something that you tell yourself, but they're really powerful. So be careful with what you tell yourself, because you want to be positive with yourself. Take care of yourself. You know, I say things like on my blog and just in general, dream yourself awake. It's just about being aware of all the wonder when you're awake. There's just a lot of beauty in life, and to be aware of it. And follow your joy. Push your dreams, breathe, pause, take it all in, always allow yourself to have space. And, you know, life is chaotic. So always try to just take a moment and breathe and focus on your breath and stay centered, grounded, rooted in your tree, and, you know, shift and be flexible. And always try things and always keep learning. And then here I just have these some different slides here where I say art saves lives, it saved mine. And then I talked about how the art life is not an easy path. It can be difficult and challenging for sure, but it's also super rewarding. And it just fills that heart whole, you know, it makes you feel so much just joy, and it's just, I love it. I can't imagine doing anything else. But so believe, explore, discover. I want you to dream big, allow yourself space to grow and try things, and to believe in your powers. Always realize that you have a lot of special things about you, and don't let others squash that light. Now, also I say get lost, daydream, learn things, discover. Don't get stagnant and doing the same old or following the rules. Just learn and explore and try things. Also, like I've been saying, to be flexible. Life is very unexpected, as we know. I mean, we all went through the pandemic, so we know about all of that. So then here I'm just saying, believe in yourself, and eventually others will believe in you too. Don't let anyone stop you from having your own ideas and visions, because if you stay true to your ideas and you keep pushing your dreams, eventually the thing that you're pushing and believing in, others are going to believe in it. It just happens. These are some just this is sort of the end of my presentation. I'm just talking about how I created an online art shop. It's another thing that I do, another facet of my, I guess, art life where I make things. I don't have anything, like I should have put some props on my desk to show you guys, but
Angie, I have behind my computer, I have a table set up of some of your artwork.
Oh, great.
Your an article from, I think, the New York Times.
Okay.
The one that.
Yep, the New York Times. I have your first solo show in.
Oh, cool.
Or yeah, your first show in Berlin. This is a painting she painted for Adelaide. It's called Elephant Girl.
I love that painting. It's in my room.
This is
Well,
her
not right
painting
now.
that from my favorite collection. It's called the Housebroken Collection.
It is always a new room.
And then she was featured in the New York Times for
Really?
artwork. And this is the article. It
Wait,
was
is that a lobby?
Christmas Day of 2011.
That was the year I was born.
Yeah.
Christmas Day. I was the day after.
And this is another print, I believe, that she gave my husband.
Aw.
So we have some of your artwork up here for the girls to look at.
And I have a lot more.
That's awesome. Well, I just will finish up this this presentation. The next slide I have, it's just talking about how I also make, like, you know, you just explore, and part of my exploration was doing like this video content where I'm doing like sketchbook meditations and filming them, and the reviews and unboxing videos, all on my YouTube channel, and doing sketchbook tours and then time lapses of making the artwork. But that's also like using video programming and doing the editing and stuff. So it's just another form of creativity. It's just like kind of like with podcasting. That was my podcast, Clarity Cloud podcast. You can also hear that on my site, angiemason.com has a link to the podcast there. You can just listen right there. That's all about creative, like the creative life and just the creative experiences that we go through. This is just
Sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I'm just going through the end here. It's just sort of like where you can find me, and it's basically Angie Mason Art is my handle on pretty much all the platforms. Sometimes it's Angie Mason on YouTube. It's just Angie Mason, but there you go. Thank you for having me.
All right, so Angie, I think the girls have some questions they might want to ask you.
Great. Let me see if I can hide side panel. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Ooh,
How did you come up with
are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm sorry.
How did you come up with your
Can you hear us, Angie?
Give me 1 second because I'm just trying to figure out move picture in picture. Is this, no, that's not what I want to do. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how I can get you guys. Am I here? Is this working? Can I see you? There, you're big. I couldn't see you because you were so small and I had to get rid of my presentation, but here you are.
All right, so Gia, if you want to come, you can come a little closer if you'd like and ask her your question.
How did you come up with your art?
How do I come up with my artwork? I mean, there's all different, each piece is just from a different moment in time. It could be based on a dream or any sort of life experiences. Sometimes when you see an animal or anything, wherever you're traveling or anything, that's why I always keep these sketchbooks, because if you write down all of these different thoughts and memories, and you're doodling too, like you just kind of do like what I call like automatic drawing where you just kind of go off and just draw anything, these things come out, and it's like being in touch with your dream world.
Thank you. Emma.
Why did you want to become an artist?
Why did I want to become an artist? Because I love the idea of creating my own worlds and creating characters and just making a whole universe that I can create and kind of, I guess, control. But it's like my vision of what I want to see. So that is why, one of the reasons.
Sorry, you froze there for a second.
Oh no. Okay, what did you hear? What didn't you hear? Did you hear anything?
Yeah. We miss the end, the last sentence.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah. Basically, I want to make my own worlds in my own universe. So creating my own worlds was really, I just loved the idea of being able to do that.
Ryan?
What is the process? What's the process of like making art?
What's the process of making what?
Art.
Making art. Well, it depends on which type of art you're talking about, but I will say that pretty much all of the process starts in my sketchbook. Everything starts out with drawing and writing in my journals and sketchbooks, and it grows from there. And then sometimes I think like, oh, I like this drawing or this doodle and I want to make it into a painting. So then I'll take it and I'll make it into a painting, or I want to make it into a sculpture. And it's just always, it comes down to, I guess, the foundation of any sort of creation comes into the sketchbook phase, and then it grows from there. And it depends, like if you're painting, how you're painting. Like if you're doing an oil painting, there's like layers and processes, and doing the varnishing, it's a different type of process. So it depends. I like watercolor lately. It's really such a, I don't know, it's immediate and I love it, and I also like that it's not really toxic.
Does anybody else want to go? No? Carly? You don't have to be nervous.
Yeah, guys, don't be nervous.
Have you ever like painted a reptile?
A reptile? Oh yeah. I'm trying to think. I have a picture of, well, it's my reptile. It's kind of like it looks like a snake, but it's a heart head.
Mm.
And it's called Love Bites.
That's funny. Anybody else want to? Does anybody else want to ask a question?
What do you mean by immediate?
What do you mean when you say that watercolor is immediate?
Okay, so when you're using oil, it takes a long time to dry. So you could technically, take a brush on your oil painting and blend it like a couple days later and it's still blending. Acrylic is, it dries pretty fast. It dries, within the session that you're working in, depending on how much extra mediums, like blending mediums and stuff you use, but that dries pretty fast. But watercolor is just like evaporating with the water, and it's dry on the paper. And that's what I mean by immediate. Like it's there, it's set in the paper.
And I just pulled up your Sharp Tongues, Poison Minds.
Oh, you got that. Yeah, there you go.
So I was showing.
That was another one.
That's a reptile that you painted.
Yes.
I couldn't remember what section that was in.
Right. I'm not sure. The young lady who asked about the reptile. Do you have a pet reptile?
No,
but she wants one.
Oh, what does she want?
Probably like a crested gecko.
A crested gecko?
Very cool. Do you draw pictures of geckos?
Oh, I tried.
You try? Does anybody else have questions? Does anybody else have questions? No? All right. Well, Angie, thank you so much. Girls, what do we say?
Bye, Angie.
Bye, Addie. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I love talking to you, and I'm so excited to hear that you're making graphic novels. That's exciting.
Yes, I think that was what their end game was for this journey that we're on. So thank you very much. And
thank you.
I will see you on Thursday.
See you on Thanksgiving.
Thanks, guys. Oh,
love you.
Let me show you my PowerPoint slide that I painted.
Oh, look, she actually painted the PowerPoint slide on a canvas. Look at that. That's so cool.
Funny. Yeah, I know it's not typical. Everybody's doing everything in the computer.
That's a good idea. Maybe we'll make our own trees and see what you guys think of yourselves.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's kind of a fun exploration. It's a fun self-exploration project to sort of think about that. You know, what you're interested in now, like how you're growing. Like, you know, it's really I love it.
It almost reminds me of the movie Inside Out and the core memories.
Yes.
Oh, I have to watch that again. I've seen it once, but it's like I vaguely remember it, but I'm gonna watch it again.
Okay. You've never seen it.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
I've seen the movie, but I just don't remember it. I've seen it once. Well, guys, thank you so much for having me. I love talking to you, and I hope that you guys keep on a creative path.
Thank you.
Oh, are you still there?
Yeah, we're here.
I also wanted to say, I know that when I was talking to you, Ashley, you were asking about any sort of difficult situations that I might have faced when I was in my jobs that I had. And the one thing I do want to mention is I had one job where the boss, he got really upset with me when I told him that I had to go and work at this other job because it was a dream. I was following my dream and I was doing this other creative project. And he told me, like, he didn't want me to leave, and he was just saying, like, no, forget your dreams. And then I was like, forget you. And then I'm like, basically, stay true to your dreams. Don't let people stop you from having your dreams and stop you from following your dreams. So that's
Thank you. Inspirational message.
There's the PG version.